Good morning, stamping friends. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Lorri Heiling, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I have been stamping for 16 years with the company now, and oh my gosh, I can't believe how fast it's gone. Every time Mr. Brown comes with that little brown box or boxes, I get so excited. It's like I just started. So it's something that is really my passion, and it hasn't worn off over time. Well, speaking of, I would love to have you join my team so you can get excited about the UPS person too. And it is so fun to be able to buy my products at a discount. So I just always want to put a little plug in. And then the other reason that I bring it up is because the project that I'm going to share with you today is one that I did for our team meeting. And this actually was my swap that I did. Now, what we do each month with my team is we have a voluntary swap. If you're not familiar with what that is, we have a theme each month, and whatever that theme is kind of what your card or 3D project revolves around. An example is like, say 12 people decide they want to take part in the swap. They just RSVP, and then they make 12 of the same project, so they're all identical. And then when we get together, or for those who are out of town, they just stick them in the mail to me, and I swap them for them, and then I mail back, or at our meeting, for those who are live, they go home with 12 different ideas. So it is one great way to get different ideas, and I love it because I get a lot of swaps from stamps that I don't even own, and so that way I can share with people, you know, things that I might not necessarily own, but I can still share some projects with you. So that is so much fun. And so anyway, I would love to have you join my team and participate in that. But like I said, it's voluntary. Also, you can get all your products at a discount. Well, don't forget that the last chance product sale is going on now until May 3rd, and you still have time. And if something has run out or sold out, when you try to enter it online, it'll just show up as product not available. So that way you don't have to deal with back orders or anything, because they are while supplies last. So be sure and check out the sale, because there's some good deals out there. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around and let's get started with today's project. You guys are in for a treat today because I'm combining a couple of my favorite things. I love, love, love fun fold cards. So I have a new one for you. I don't even know what the name of it is, but I've seen it around, and I'm so sorry I don't know the exact name. If you know, put it in the comments so I can name this card. And then I also love the ECLIPSE Technique. So I'm going to be combining those two. And let me share with you the products that I'm using first. For the Record is one of my favorite sets. I don't know why I am drawn to this, but I just love, I think it kind of has a retro look. So I'm using this stamp set again. You've seen some other projects I've done. And then this is kind of a hidden little treasure here. I know it goes with this bundle, but I just love word die cuts. And so the word thanks is really intricate here. And then there's a background layering die that goes with that, and then it also has "you are amazing" with it, but I've used thanks mostly because that's usually the type of cards that I've needed to send. So let's get started with today's project. Now, there are a lot of pieces to this, and so I've tried to do my best to measure them, and if not, I'll just do it in front of you here, but I thought I would save a little bit of time by pre-measuring. Whoops, you can tell I'm OCD with things being straight here. All right, the first thing we're going to use is basic black cardstock, and this is cut to 8 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then I scored it on the long side at 2 3/4 right here. You may not be able to see it there. And then just go ahead and fold that on the score line, make a nice crease, and there's kind of two parts to this card, so I'm going to do them one part at a time. So this is going to be the base of our card, and then I am using the designer series paper called Pattern Party. This is 12 by 12 paper, and look at all this paper you get. Now, this is a host item, so you cannot just purchase this on your own, but if you have an order of over $150, you can choose this, and it's deeply discounted. Another option would be the designer series paper. I put it in a little packet here, but it's called All Together, and this paper has all black and white on both sides. So this would be another option that you could easily substitute, and that's only $11.50 for a 6x6 pack. So either one, you can't go wrong. All right, let's keep working on this. The next thing we're going to do is grab some of that designer series paper that I just told you about, and the first piece is cut to 5 3/8 inches by 4 1/8, and just adhere that. And this is going to make the back of the card. And be careful when you cut your paper to make sure the design is going the way that you want. It really doesn't matter, but if you are kind of OCD about the direction of the paper, just be mindful of that. All right, Now the next little piece we're going to put on the front of this flap, and this piece is cut to 4 1/8 by 2 5/8, and I will have all these measurements in the description section and on my blog. And again, when you cut this out, make sure that it goes the same direction as here. You don't want one going this way and then one going that way. That one would make me dizzy if you did that. All right, and as you know, I like the 1/8 inch border. Some people like a bigger border. You want to see more black, just go ahead and adjust it so you have a 1/4 inch border, but I like tight. All right, there's the base of our card. Now we are going to set that aside for just a second, and we are going to build the outside, or the next layer of the card, I should say. Now this I did pre-stamp because it takes a little bit. Let me just show you what I did. The first piece I took was basic white, and this is 4 inches by 3 1/4, and this is going to be the focal point of this card. Now, I did pre-stamp this because it takes just a little bit, because you can see that I used 3 colors. These are Memento Black, Coastal Cabana, and Polished Pink. And I just stamped them randomly, and that makes up kind of like my own designer series paper. Now to fill in the white space here, I grabbed a stamp that I have called Best Delivery, and all I need is that little heart. You can use whatever you have in your stash if you have a small heart, or maybe you like the stamp set and you want the stamp set just for that little heart. I would love to have you order that stamp set from me as well. So I just filled in the gap again with a Polished Pink. Now with this piece, we are going to make our eclipse. So what I did was I'm going to take the word thanks from Amazing Thanks dies, and I'm going to place it right like this at an angle, and I'm going to die cut this. I don't want to get these dots in the die cut because we are going to place something there. So just kind of try to avoid those. So let me quick go die cut this, and I will be right back. All right, I am back here. Now you can see that I didn't poke it out yet because I want to show you something. See this little hole here? I want to make sure that you keep that and don't throw that. This is the S, so poke it out, but make sure you hold on to that because we're going to use that little piece. If it gets away from you, it's easy to just recut this on white and then just kind of stamp in that little part there because it's kind of random and it'll blend in, but try to remember to save that. All right, then just poke out the rest of it, and we also want to save this piece. These are the 2 largest pieces that are going to fall out. Then let's grab this, just easily take that out, and you don't need the A, the middle of the A, and you don't need the middle of the H loop, and you also don't need the top of the K. All you need is this piece from the T and the little piece from the S, and I'll show you why. Before you guys were here, I pre-cut this. This is the larger die that will outline this. So what we're going to do now is just add some multi-purpose liquid glue. And, you know, if you have adhesive sheets, that works. You could do that. Another technique that I haven't shown you, but I should sometime, is just dipping a sponge in here and then rubbing the whole thing with it. But I don't really mind just adding a little bit of glue with my, from the bottle. Now just flip that over and place it right smack in the middle of all this. And it just gives it a really nice outline. And can you see how why we didn't need the middle of the E or the K or the A, because it's already filled in, and you have to kind of adjust it, but it moves. That's the beauty of multi-purpose liquid glue, is you can kind of move it around because this is very bendable and sometimes it doesn't match up exactly. All right, now we have that part done. We are going to use these pieces, but I'm just going to leave everything on here, let that dry, and pull it to the side along with this piece. Now the next part we're going to build is the layer that it's going to be adhered to. This is 4 1/8 by 3 3/8. And for this one, I like to use the liquid glue again because what's nice about this is you want to get in close to the word. And so with the liquid glue, you can really get in there. Did I tell you the dimension of this? Oh boy. I'm going to just measure it. I covered it up. I'm sorry. This is 4 inches by 3 1/4. All right, here I was ahead of the game and wrote it down, but then I forgot to tell you. And just make that little 1/8 inch border again, or 1/4 if you prefer. But like I said, you'll have to just adjust everything. And we want this one to be a flat layer and not with dimensionals, because what we're going to do is really pop up the word thanks. All right, now let's pull in the word thanks here. But before we do that, we are going to, we're going to set this about where it's going to go. And you see how what Eclipse is? It continues what was already underneath there. But first we have to take care of these little pieces that came out. So what we're going to do is take our liquid glue and just put the tiniest dots that you can in that little, do you see how there's a hole there? Put it right in the hole. Only need a couple dots, and then take your pick tool. This is really going to come in handy, and you want to stick it right in there, but you're going to have to lift it up. But at least we can see where it needs to go. Lift up your word thanks and place it right in there, and then quickly look to make sure it's in the right position, because remember, you can adjust it a little bit before you glue it down, and that looks good right there. Now we're going to do the same thing with the middle of the S. I'm just going to put one little dot in here so we know about where it goes. Lift this up, take our pick tool, stick it right in that area, and then quickly test to make sure that it's all covered up, and that looks excellent. So now it just leaves, fills in that gap so it doesn't look like there's a bare spot there. Now what you want to do is take foam adhesive strips. I love these. Oh my goodness. I always have an extra set in my stash. You never know when you'll run out or what projects need a lot. And you're just going to start putting these on the back. Now, you don't have to put a ton of these on. I think 3 or 4 will be good. But we really want this to stand out. So we're going to pop it a little bit higher. Dimensional, you could use dimensionals, but I just think the foam adhesive strips give it a little bit more of a pop. And so that's why I choose to use these whenever I do Eclipse cards. All right, now we're just going to place that right back in where it came from. Like this. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is take matte black dots. This is what it looks like in the package, and you get your bang for your buck with this. These are matte black dots, and you get 160 of these. That's a lot of black dots, but I use them quite a bit, so I've gone through a few of those packs. So what I'm going to do is I have 3 of these record centers. Let me take a pick tool, and we're just going to put these right in the center of the record. Kind of goes with our theme. All right, now let's set this aside while we build the rest of our card. The next piece is basic black again, and this is an 8.5 by 3.5 inch piece, and it's scored in half on the long side at, I forgot to write down that score line. I bet it's 4 1/4. That's half of 8.5, right? 4 1/4. So just fold there. Now the fold is going to go on the right side for this one, and I'll show you why in just a second. And the next thing we're going to do is just glue this on, and we will just glue it flat. We don't want this card to get too thick. Otherwise, you're going to have to stick another stamp on this or send it as a package. We don't want that. Postage has gone so much over the years, and so we're going to try to keep this card at a one stamp project. And there's my 1/8 inch again. All right, now look at it. It looks like it's going the wrong way, but it's not. The last thing we're going to, oh wait, we need one more piece for the inside so that you can write your thank you note. And this one is 4 1/8 by 3 3/8. And we will just do the same thing with this. Let me use this adhesive this time. And this will go on this side. Again, that 1/8 inch border. Can you see this? right, there's where your note goes. Now, the last part of this card is we were going to put these two pieces together. This is going to be the topmost part of the card, and this is the base. So what you're going to want to do is these two are going to come together like this. See if you can see it like that. And so when you glue this down on the bottom here, you're just going to make sure before you adhere it that this is right smack in the middle. So let me add my adhesive. Whoops, and do you see how I'm trying and it's not grabbing? This is what your silicone mat does. Just go a little bit on there and it'll get it, kind of start it going again. Okay, now we can go back on the paper. Once in a while it'll do that, but it's really worth it because that adhesive really sticks well. All right, I'm going to try to fold this without gluing it down yet until I get it centered. Does that look pretty good? You can kind of line it up by your design in the black. All right, there we go. Isn't that fun? Now, the way that they open it is, it's just kind of that double fold, and that's where you write your sentiment. Well, thank you so much for hanging in there with me as I show you how to make that fun fold and using that infamous ECLIPSE technique. I just want to remind you that I do Creative You every month, and what that means is anyone who places an order $35 or more before tax and shipping, you qualify for 3 free projects, and I will send the kit to you in the mail, and then I will email you the instructions. All you have to do is, like I said, $35 or more, and please use this host code, and I will be happy to get those out for you. The due date is the 10th of every month. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Be sure to take advantage of the last chance products that are on sale. And remember, those are while supplies last. So if you see something that you're interested in, chances are it may not last forever there. So you might want to grab that before it's gone. Thank you. And I will see you again next week. Remember, I do my YouTube lives on Tuesday mornings at 9 o'clock a.m. Arizona time. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.